The title of this presentation is The Role of Cortisol and Norepinephrine in Depression. Please help me to welcome Kirsten.
Go ahead and take a look at the row that you're sitting in right now. Odds are at least one of you will suffer from depression at some point in your lifetime. Depression affects 1 in 10 adults and costs the United States $100 billion economically each year. Do you know what puts you at risk for depression? Chronic stress. Now, how many of you are college or graduate students? How many of you do or have suffered from chronic stress? I know that I do. One hormone that's released when we're stressed is called cortisol. Now, cortisol's main function is to help us liberate energy to overcome a particular stressor. So think about if you've ever taken a really stressful college exam. Cortisol is going to be very high in your body trying to help you overcome that stressor. Now, cortisol is a necessary hormone, but excess amounts of it can be bad, like in the case of chronic stress. Cortisol also has many other functions like we're starting to discover, and one of those functions is the way in which it affects depression. So, how exactly does cortisol affect depression? Well, one way is through its actions on another hormone called norepinephrine. You might have felt norepinephrine if you've ever been in a really stressful or dangerous situation. The pulsing of that hyper-motivation and that hyper-awareness to just get out of that situation. That's norepinephrine. Cortisol and norepinephrine are very high when we're stressed. In fact, cortisol and norepinephrine also have a unique relationship with one another. If we block cortisol in rats, we see that there's an increase in norepinephrine in an area of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, suggesting that cortisol is normally suppressing norepinephrine to this area. And interestingly, certain classes of antidepressants actually work by increasing norepinephrine in the brain. Based on this information, it is our hypothesis that people with depression have increased levels of cortisol, which is contributing to a reduction in norepinephrine in the brain. To test this hypothesis, we're going to stress rats, block their cortisol, and then measure their depressive-like symptoms. Down the line, this can help us understand how antidepressants work and can help us come up with more targeted treatments in the future. Thank you.